Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we will going to discuss file tree structure or Linux tree structure. Some points about structure. Many Linux distros partially follow FHS or file hierarchy standard. To learn more about our distro's current hierarchy, we can use manhire. The Linux hierarchy starts from a root directory followed or specified by // everything exists under this root directory. So first directory we are going to discuss is bin. It contains binaries for all users. Common tools and binaries can be found here. Examples include cp, tar, cat, head, etc. We have discussed cp, cat, head in previous videos. You can check those. Next we have sbin. Sbin contains system binaries. These binaries usually require root privileges for certain tasks. These binaries can be used to configure operating system. Examples include mk file system ext4, make file system ext3, interface up, file consistency check. Next we have libs or library folders, library directories. These directories contain library files that are used by binaries in bin and sbin. Linux loads kernel related modules from lib modules. Both 32-bit and 64 libraries are stored here for compatibility to legacy applications. Next we have OPT or optional directory. This directory is, as its name suggests, it is used to store optional software that comes outside from the distro's official repository. Examples can include software such as TeamViewer, Zoom, and many more. Next we have boot. All files needed to boot the computer are stored here. Files don't change very often in this directory. Typically, grub bootloader can be found in boot grub. Grub related data such as grub.cfg is found in boot grub. The menu that you can see in the starting of a Linux operating system is rendered through that configuration file. Next we have etc. All machine specific config files should be located in etc. Historically people pronounced etc as etc, but today often people use it as editable text configuration. It contains directory such as init.d that contains scripts to start and stop daemons. Although it is an old way, today new way is by using the systemctl. Examples of configuration files that can be seen here are Apache web server config files and SSH config files. Next we have home directory. It is created for each user by the operating system. User can store any kind of data such as personal data. It has user related configurations such as his bash profile and his SSH configurations. Next we have root and SRV. Root is simple location for root users profile data. SRV can be used as point to contain www data or FTP data as allowed by FHS. Next we have media and mount directories. Media directory serves as mount point for removable devices such as CD-ROMs, USBs, cameras, etc. Most Linux distros mount removable media in media directory. Mount directory is used as temporary mount point and it should be empty by default. Running binaries use temp as temporary storage. The data stored in temp may either use disk or RAM. Data stored in temp is erased on system reboot, so make sure you don't save any kind of important data in temp, else you will lose it. Dev is populated with files as the kernel detects hardware. It contains device files or special files. As you can see, the second point, files in dev can be called as device files. It allows us to use the ability of special files such as dev null. Dev null acts as a black hole. It has unlimited storage. Everything you throw it cannot be retrieved back. So the garbage output or randomized or unnecessary output from commands can be thrown in dev null. You can even check the hard disks attached to the system in dev SDA. Mostly hard drives are shown as SDA, SDB and things like that. Proc. Proc is a pseudo file system to provide an interface to kernel data structures. It is automatically mounted by file system or operating system, you can say. We can mount this manually using mount command. Most files in proc are read only, but some files are writable, allowing us to change the kernel variables. Next we have user. As you can see, I've pronounced it like user, but it stands for Unix system resources. It should contain shareable read-only data. Some people mount it as read-only, and it is mainly used for NFS shares. It contains many important directories and binaries, such as user bin contains plenty of helpful commands. For example, WC or word count binary can be found there. User include directory contain many header files for C language, such as stdio.h, Unix standard, or unistd.h, and many. Next we have var or variable. Files that are unpredictable in size, that is logs, cache, spool, should be located here. Var log serves as a central point to contain all log files. Various log files of different applications can be found here, such as Apache web servers and many other applications. Log files can be seen here. Next we have sys and lost plus found directory. So let's first discuss about the sys. This directory was created or used for Linux kernel 2.6 as it used sysfs to support USB and FireWire hot plug devices. So since then it remained there. Next we have lost plus found. It contains files that are lost in the operating system due to system crashes or other reasons, or it contains recovered files from different software, different recovery softwares. So that's all for now. See you in the next video.